today's EU4 video, I will play as a small Italian state, Monferrato to be precise. The goal will be to restore the Byzantine Empire in a unique way available to this country. This stems from the fact that both Byzantium and Monferrato share the same dynasty. Moreover, Monferrato's national ideas include claims to the Byzantine heritage. However, this will not be an easy task. Monferrato starts as a vassal of Savoy. I will also have to defeat the Ottoman monster. This means I will need to grow a bit. Fortunately, Monferrato's ideas will help me with this. They are incredibly good for it, with one small exception. I will have a ridiculously weak army with very limited manpower. Yes, this will be the perfect campaign after my recovery from illness. Welcome, imperialists, Lucas here. Monferrato begins its journey as a poor vassal of Savoy. This means that my first objective in this campaign will be a very quick war for independence. And honestly, I've had incredible luck. Both Austria and Switzerland want to help me from the start. But I must admit, I'd really like to secure Burgundy's help. If I can get their support, I'll be able to form an alliance, arrange a royal marriage, and hope to inherit their territories for free. So I'll try to win them over. In the estates, I must choose the privilege for religious diplomacy, which will increase my diplomatic reputation. If that's not enough, I'll take the prestige privilege from the burghers. I'll use that prestige to insult England heavily, as they're a rival of Burgundy. If even that doesn't work, I'll take cheap loans from the burghers and hire a diplomatic reputation advisor with the funds. If you don't have one available, I'd recommend restarting your playthrough. With this, I can ask Burgundy to support my independence. Next, I'll do the same with Austria and Switzerland. With allies like these, even the cheapest mercenary company should be enough to win the war. Though ideally, I'd hire one with a bonus to siege forts, but I can't afford that. Before the war, I'll also take privileges for monarchy points and no others to keep estate influence as low as possible. This will allow me to claim a lot of land from conquered territories. Similarly, I won't revoke land or complete missions yet, I'll do that immediately after the war. I also recruited generals, and in this case, I got lucky. I marked the specific territories I want from Savoy. Now I wait until December 12th to declare my war for independence. Otherwise, I risk them forming an alliance with a stronger country, most likely the Kingdom of Aragon. The goal is to make this war as straightforward as possible, as you'll already suffer the significant cost of reduced stability. I also completed the mission to build an army up to force limit. As you can see, Monferrato doesn't have a particularly great mission tree, it's completely generic. However, I plan to change that in the future. Before forming Byzantium, I intend to form at least one other country. I immediately dismiss my advisor as I can't afford him and switch my focus to administrative points, which I'll need in abundance. I also arranged royal marriages with both Burgundy and Austria, which should strengthen relations with them. This also unlocked the Rule of the Prince mission, but honestly, I'll only complete it after I increase my stability by 3 points. When stability is negative, it's cheaper to increase it than when it's positive. First, I moved my troops to Switzerland to regroup with my allies' armies, especially since I have no morale and there's a high chance Savoy's troops could attack me soon. In the meantime, I sent my diplomats to improve relations with Austria and Burgundy. Switzerland, however, I'm ignoring. What a great start. There was an assassination attempt on my heir, or ruler. Judging by the stats, I noticed I have additional diplomatic reputation. Given that, I'd prefer for my heir to die. Oh. The next heir also had an accident. Burgundy has just destroyed all of Savoy's troops in Siena, so I don't have to worry about them anymore. I began sieging as much territory as possible. The more I claim, the better. Wow, Savoy was excommunicated. Too bad that doesn't help me right now. That's just my luck when playing in this region. The war is won without much trouble. The real challenge is determining the peace terms. First, I'll gain independence, but I'd also like to claim some territory. Honestly, I'm not too concerned about aggressive expansion here. The problem is that I'll lose my alliances with Burgundy and Austria after this war unless I give them something in return, and those alliances are more important than territorial gains. That's why I'll give Austria this province. And Burgundy, I'll even give them 2 provinces from Savoy itself. Otherwise, their trust in me will drop, but this way it'll remain positive. As for Switzerland, I don't care about their relations with me, so they'll get nothing. Honestly, I'm not too worried about Burgundy gaining land in this war, as I plan to take all those territories later via the Burgundian event. Immediately after the war, I declared some rivals and annexed the conquered territories, which cost me a lot of administrative points. Most of the land is within my state territory, except for Nizza. As a result of this war, I managed to recover 16% of my crown land. That's quite a lot. I also repaid all my cheap burgher loans only to take out new ones. This time they gave me far more money, 153 gold compared to the previous 30. With this, I repaid all my expensive loans. Isn't the standard 5%? Why is it 7%? Wow, you learn something new every day. I didn't realize negative stability affects this. Probably because I rarely have negative stability. Now, after gaining independence and acquiring some territory, I can say the easiest part is behind me. The ultimate goal remains to conquer Byzantine territories, not just the ones you see now, but all the green ones plus 3 more in Anatolia. Since I have no fleet, not even a single ship, and building one with just one coastal province would take years, attacking Byzantium with no casus belli and conquering them is not an option. Though I could have requested military access from the Ottoman Empire, let's be honest. I'll prepare for a war with the Turks after year 1500. This means significant expansion within Italy to grow my economy and army. That's why I've repaid what I could, granted some other privileges, but haven't yet given any that reduce advisor costs. First, I don't have many advisors, and second, I still need to raise my stability. As I predicted, Switzerland will break its alliance with me shortly. It's no surprise, they probably don't trust me anymore. I also adjusted my merchants' actions. One is improving relations, while the other is now in Champagne to do the same, though perhaps Venice would be a better option? What do you think about this? Let me know in the comments. Returning to the gameplay, before I do anything else, I need to annex the newly acquired territories. This will increase my army and resolve the stability issue. Since this will take some time, I'm turning off fort maintenance and reducing army upkeep. I won't disband my mercenaries because I'm expecting rebellions in Savoy at some point. As always, I immediately lower autonomy on the conquered territories wherever possible. Oh god, the unrest is insane. The Renaissance has spawned in Florence, meaning it's worth improving relations with this country to ensure the Renaissance spreads quickly to my territory. The Italian region is a place where you must always be on the lookout for opportunities, and I just found one. I can attack Saluzzo and attempt to humiliate the country by using the show superiority to gain 100 points of each type. Initially, I didn't want to attack Saluzzo because they were allied with Milan. However, Milan is currently collapsing due to a war with France. Besides, I've already reached military tech 4, while my opponents are still stuck on tech 3. Since I have high aggressive expansion, I'm not too focused on conquering land. If I do conquer anything, Genoa will be my first target. That province is one of the most critical trade nodes in the region. In the Italian region, it's worth focusing either on the Genoa trade node or Venice. Long-term, Genoa will always be the better choice. Before the war, I'll form a royal marriage with Spain and secure an alliance, of course. Saluzzo's forces are quickly defeated. I leave only 1,000 troops there to prevent the enemy from recruiting new units, and I pull the rest of my army back to Milan. Oh look, Papal troops have arrived, I'll defeat them as well. Oops, things didn't go entirely according to plan. Milan just ended its war with France. Anyway, I proceed with show strength for 100 points of each type, though I'm not sure if it was worth it. I also enact my first government reform, taxation of course. I don't know why so many people are surprised when I invest in taxes during the first era. Taxes allow me to quickly develop my economy and hire advisors. Time for a tournament, which will boost my army's morale. Finally, the Shadow Kingdom event. I've been waiting for this before pursuing further conquests, as most Italian states will likely leave the Holy Roman Empire shortly. This coincides nicely with my aggressive expansion ticking down. It'll hit 0 in about 5 years. Wow, there's a coalition war against France. For me, this is fantastic news. Shadow Kingdom has triggered, but I'll stay in the Empire for now. Why? I have an alliance with the Emperor, so I suffer almost no negative events, except for a small prestige hit. Look, almost all of Italy has left the Empire, but I still enjoy Austria's protection. I immediately embrace the Renaissance institution and choose my first set of ideas. For this country, diplomatic ideas are one of the best choices for several reasons. First, the minus 20% province war score cost synergizes beautifully with the national idea last claimants of Byzantium. This national idea is incredibly strong, as it allows Montferrat to form Byzantium. Sure, many Orthodox countries can now form Byzantium simply by conquering Constantinople, but Montferrat doesn't have to meet the religious requirement. If you pair diplomatic ideas with humanist ideas, which improve relations, you can also use a policy to further enhance relations improvement. Combined with Montferrat's national ideas, you can achieve up to -6 aggressive expansion per year, which is extremely powerful. That said, I'm planning to overcomplicate things with Montferrat. I want to expand quickly at the start, and based on my experience, nothing beats taking the first 2 espionage ideas. Of course, you could fully develop espionage ideas and pair them with offensive ideas, but personally, I'll cancel espionage ideas later and switch to diplomatic and administrative ideas, which are perfect for rapid conquest with Montferrat. For my third idea group, I'll likely choose mercenary ideas or another military option. When I get to that point, I'll let you know my exact plan. For now, I'm capitalizing on the fact that many of the countries I intend to attack are fighting France and burning through their armies. I declare war on Genoa with Castile's help. The only problem? Genoa has decent diplomatic relations with other nations. Genoa's army has been defeated, but Florence's large army has suddenly arrived and easily crushed my forces. Alright, I had to recruit more troops. I'm waiting for another battle with Florence, but I'll bide my time until Spain captures Florence's capital. Once that happens, I might release a few smaller countries in the region. After Florence falls, I'll take on their army again. again. This time I seem to be winning without much trouble. Where is their army retreating? I can release 3 countries from Florence, so I won't prolong the war unnecessarily. I'll execute this plan and move on. Meanwhile, the coalition war against France has ended and France has shrunk considerably. How many countries did they release? Womanizer? Funny word, I wonder what it means. Now I can legitimize this heir with a 646 stat line, or I can increase my chances of getting another heir. Tough choice. Welcome, Giovanni. At least the dynasty continues. Look, I'm close to ending the war with Genoa. Taking these 3 provinces will give me nearly 50 aggressive expansion points. But let's wait. With reduced aggressive expansion from ideas and the upcoming age bonus, I'll only generate 32 aggressive expansion points. This means I can attack more countries soon. That's why I believe espionage ideas are worth it, at least in the first era. I've also finally built up a decent number of sailors, so I'll start constructing my navy. My main focus will be transport ships, since I'll need to move troops to Sardinia. Oh, Champagne was just released in the north. France issued me a warning. That might complicate things in the region. Oh my god, I need to keep conquering. I send claims on Milan, pay Austria's debts, and, with Austria's help, attack Milan. I don't call in Saluzzo separately. With the help of my other 2 allies, I also attack the Kingdom of Aragon. I planned it this way to break Austria's alliance with Aragon, ensuring Austria wouldn't join the war on their side. And now my ruler has died. Unfortunately, this war will drag on because of the sheer number of forts I need to siege. I don't expect many major battles here. I wonder if I can capture all of Naples in this war. I can achieve that with this development, theoretically. Since I plan to conquer quite a bit in these wars, I'm improving relations with all the Italian countries. I'm focusing on this culture group because I'll gain a lot of aggressive expansion there. Naples can become my vassal. I have 50% participation in the war with Aragon, so they won't be able to call in any allies. I take 3 wealthy provinces from Milan. Milan won't recover after losing this territory. And I can't believe it, I've captured all of Sardinia. Naples becomes my vassal, and it only cost me 44 aggressive expansion points. The only country that could potentially join a coalition is the Papal State. It was a bloody war, but totally worth it in my opinion. Look, most countries now have 50 aggressive expansion points. If I hadn't improved relations with them, coalitions would already be forming. After my recent wars, I've significantly increased Montferrat's share in Genoa's trade. I plan to boost this even further by quickly taking over smaller Italian republics all the way to Rome. I also secured positive relations with my Neapolitan vassal to the point where I reduced their liberty desire. An opportunity arose to indirectly attack France through a war with Lucca. The Burgundy personal union, I finally got it, but at a terrible moment. I'm already at war with France and soon I'll be at war with the Emperor as well. I must quickly lower Burgundy's liberty desire so they can contribute to the war effort, which I'll do through development. It's the most effective method and I'll obviously choose the cheapest options. I'll soon be at war with the Emperor because they'll demand either that I incorporate Burgundy into the Holy Roman Empire or hand the union over to Austria. Unfortunately, the fact that Austria is currently fighting against France on my side doesn't save me from the looming war with them. Therefore, I'm improving relations with Bohemia and Poland as quickly as I can. I'm also adding cannons to my army. Sadly, I have to accept a white peace with Lucca, as I can't annex anything from them right now, though I do plan to return later. I quickly form an alliance with Poland. Even though they're technologically behind, they have an army, and a union with Lithuania. And a year later, I refuse the Emperor's demand to relinquish the Burgundian lands. Since this is a defensive war for me, I call my allies to arms. Unfortunately, I lost my alliance with the Emperor, which means I now suffer penalties for being in the Holy Roman Empire. Despite the war, Austria still likes me, so maybe I'll be able to restore the alliance, we'll see. Of course, at the start of this difficult war, I had to divert my forces to the freshly acquired islands to suppress a rebellion there. Well, it's not that bad, I've already reached Vienna and might even weaken the Emperor a little. Afterward, I proceeded with my Italian plan to annex those small republics. As a result of this war, I managed to release 2 smaller nations from the Pope, which I will later make my vassals. The strong Duchess privilege is proving very useful at this point. After dealing with the small republics, it was time to conquer Florence. Now that I've secured most of the western coastline and connected it to Naples, my next goal will be to seize Sicily from Aragon. It's possible that Aragon will soon fall under a union, but once again, I find myself at war with the Austrians, so restoring that alliance is unlikely this time. This time, the Polish army didn't come to Vienna's aid. Perfect timing, right before the end of the war, I got a negative 20% aggressive expansion modifier. Of course, I forgot to leave the empire, which I'm doing now. Aragon's troops are somewhat competent, but they stand no chance against my numerical superiority. Alright, I conquer all of Sicily. The 40% aggressive expansion means I'll probably need to hold off on further conquests for the next 20 years. Acquiring Sicily, but more importantly Malta, is worth it though. There's a powerful monument here that reduces the cost of annexing provinces from heathens. I can now declare Monferrato a kingdom as I'm no longer part of the Holy Roman Empire. I'll now start vassalizing the smaller Italian states one by one to minimize aggressive expansion. This is also a good time to ditch espionage ideas, as I've completed most of the major conquests in the Italian region, and instead I'll pick diplomatic ideas. It's year 1500, though the next era hasn't started yet, I'm already triggering my golden era. This will make adopting new ideas significantly cheaper. At this point, I also have a decent economy, and can field a reasonably strong army, though it's still not enough to face the might of the Ottoman Empire one-on-one. And so we reach the year 1514. In the past few years, I've constructed a lot of workshops, though not everywhere yet, and quite a few churches. Unfortunately, I have to wait for level 11 technologies to start building manufactories. I built barracks where it made sense to boost manpower. That's about it, as I already have marketplaces constructed. I also upgraded 2 trade centers to level 3, one in Florence and one in Milan. As a result, I now have a solid income and maintain a 54,000 strong army. I've nearly closed the gap in diplomatic technology, and for my third idea group, as mentioned earlier, I'll choose mercenary ideas. From what I can tell, not only are they extremely strong, but they also provide excellent policies. Now I face a very challenging war, as I'll be attacking France, which has unfortunately consolidated in the meantime. This war will also serve as a pretext to continue my conquest in Italy by annexing the rest of Venice and the smaller duchies. My goal in the war with France will also be to take a few provinces from them so I can later release smaller vassals. Yes, I'll definitely attack Venice separately. This war is likely to be balanced. My first moves will target the Italian states to knock them out of the war and sever their alliances with France. Luckily, Poland joins the war shortly after. However, annexing these small Italian republics isn't really worth it. Look at how much aggressive expansion it generates. I wonder how long the Burgundian forts will hold back the French advance. The Venetian fleet has been defeated. I think I'll need to recruit additional troops because I'm taking heavy losses against the French. Yeah, this hurts. One battle and half my army is gone. Thankfully, France doesn't have a lot of manpower either. France's major advantage is their 10th military technology, while I'm still at 9. I missed that. And then bad luck strikes. The Ottoman Empire decides to intervene in the war.
It was at this moment that he knew. He fucked up.
After embracing colonialism, I caught up in military technology and the war became much more even. Now my goal is to leverage this technological advantage to force the Ottomans out of the war. Luckily, Constantinople fell quickly as there's no fortress defending it. The Ottomans will even pay me tribute. Wow, what a bloodbath! Spain abandoned me. But I still have the upper hand against the French somehow. My allies have done their part, and now I need to retake Burgundy. Honestly, going for mercenary ideas is saving my skin in this war. I think they'll be just as crucial when I eventually fight the Ottomans. As I mentioned, I won't take too much from France, just 3 provinces to release 3 vassals later, along with a ton of money. Despite this war, I've managed to accumulate considerable wealth, which I'll now use to build manufactories. This is also the moment to activate this mission, reducing construction costs and build times. I'm constructing manufactories everywhere since they're so affordable. And since I went for mercenaries, I'll need the money more. It wasn't until the year 1526 that Protestantism finally appeared up in the Baltic, no less. I also managed to finish the ideas for mercenaries, and let me tell you, this combination is really strong. Thanks to it, I have a policy that increases the number of possible relations by 2 and additionally reduces the upkeep cost of mercenaries. And look how many vassals I can have as a result. For world conquest, this tactic is perfect. So for now, I'm not even hesitating, and I'm shifting my focus to diplomacy, planning to integrate many of my vassals at once so I can release more later. After finishing the mercenary ideas, I'm going for another military upgrade, Elite Mercenaries, which grants me an additional government reform, allowing me to improve the quality of mercenaries for money by increasing their discipline. I'll also take advantage of Austria being at war with the Ottoman Empire and not responding to calls for help from the Holy Roman Empire member states. You won't believe it, the ruler of my dynasty is now on the throne of Castile. The Commonwealth has been formed, which is great for me because soon enough I'll be conquering the Ottoman Empire. I just need to prepare for it first, as they are a tough opponent for most of you. First, I'm building an additional 10,000 cannons and about 2 cavalry units, and I'll add this manpower-based force to my mercenary army. In fact, I'll do the same with the second manpower army, integrating it into the larger mercenary army which will be used in battles. These will simply help me save manpower. I'll recruit the mercenary armies only right before the war, no point in paying for them earlier, and unfortunately the Reformation era has begun. Unfortunate because it came quite late and I won't be able to take much advantage of its modifier. Now, conquering Venice might still be risky, but I'm doing it regardless. It's also time to create Sardinia-Piedmont, but unfortunately I can't adopt their national ideas. I need this idea to form Byzantium as Montferrat without changing religion. However, as you all know, Sardinia-Piedmont has very powerful missions worth completing, especially the one that increases production and administrative efficiency significantly. You think 5% isn't much? It's a lot. Oh, and I also get a reduction in the cost of annexing my vassals, which I'll use on Naples, just as the mission intended. It's year 1541, quite late, but I'm attacking the Ottoman Empire for the first time. I have 70,000 mercenary troops, maybe that will be enough. Despite this, I'm making a decent profit. I'm also calling the Commonwealth into this war. Wait, why can't I call Castile? Oh, they have a truce. To clarify, my armies now consist almost entirely of mercenaries, who include a lot of infantry, a decent commander, plus cannons and some cavalry. The second army, though less optimal composition-wise, will assist in sieging. Wow, I got lucky. Naples became the Pope and declared a crusade against Tunis. Okay, forget I mentioned that. Wait, why are Poland and Muscovy at war? Oh right, Poland attacked Muscovy earlier. Just my luck, I wanted to adopt Calvinism, and Calvinism erupted right when I declared war. I think I'll exploit the fact that Ottoman forces are in the Commonwealth and occupy all of the Balkans as a result. The best part? Poland went all in on quality troops. The Polish hussars will wreak havoc. I don't even need to help Poland in their battles against the Ottomans, but I'm doing it anyway. Together, we're absolutely crushing them. Meanwhile, my fleet is obliterating the Ottoman fleet. Just look at it sink. There were 60 ships, and 16 of them sank, including 2 heavy ships. Amazing. I only lost 1 galley. To be clear, I have no naval bonuses and didn't employ any strange tactics here. This is just a typical AI mistake, not upgrading its ships, and I wiped out their weaker ones. I managed to call the Spaniards into the war as well. Looks like their truce with the Ottoman Empire ended. I also adopted military tech 12, giving me an advantage. Oh, look at the armies Burgundy is fielding. Wow. I forgot how important it is now for me to improve relations with all Islamic countries I see, so they join a coalition against me as late as possible because I'm going to take a lot of land from the Ottoman Empire. Yes, even without that. My mercenary armies are so good that they're handling the Ottomans without major problems. Discipline just activated, but I don't want it now, not at this moment. The Ottoman army is practically done for. The most annoying part is how big and far away Fars is. I don't really have a way to reach them. I'm ending my first war with the Ottoman Empire. I could have taken more, but I'm already at 95% overextension, so I can't take much more. I don't remember exactly which provinces I need, so I'm taking the ones you see here. That said, I now have a mission to form Byzantium. I just need to control Constantinople for it to appear. And honestly, I don't need many more provinces. 5 or 6 more should do it. Oh, and I don't even need to core them except for Constantinople. I integrated Naples, in case you didn't notice. I'm also starting to integrate the rest of my vassals simultaneously. It's crucial to convert your vassals into marches so they don't get the negative modifier for annexation. Marches don't have this penalty. Meanwhile, I'll use 2 of these nations to reclaim territories from France in the near future. I noticed the Ottoman Empire still guarantees Ragusa's independence, so I'm attacking them to shorten my truce with the Ottomans. Oh, even Castile will help. I can't believe it, but I might just destroy half the Ottoman army. They marched through my forts, which I already reclaimed, and they have nowhere to retreat to, and I'm sure I'll win this battle. Yes, I inflicted massive losses. They're retreating to neighboring provinces. There goes the Ottoman army. Oh, the printing press has appeared. How nice. And I wiped out 60,000 troops. After the war with the Ottomans, where I didn't take much except for money, I'm attacking France with Reconquest Casus Belli. Look how many provinces I'll be able to reclaim. Most importantly, with this Casus Belli, I believe it doesn't matter what I attack. Correct me if I'm wrong. Unfortunately, the French army is much tougher than the Ottoman one, but I think I have enough of an advantage to win anyway. I'm adding all the provinces that will form Byzantium to my states, especially since I want to convert all of them to Catholicism. Oh, despite the strength of the French army, they are no match for my mercenaries, especially since I have twice as many troops. The war ends now. Since I declared it for Toulouse's territorial claims, I need to directly take the provinces they own from France, but the rest I can use for return course and enjoy low aggressive expansion. A small trick that not many know about. The icing on the cake? I completely destroyed the French army, they have nothing left. However, the Holy Roman Empire is starting to bother me, so I plan to dismantle it in the near future. I want to dismantle the Holy Roman Empire because Sardinia has a neat mission that lets me gain a personal union over France. But first, I need to conquer some provinces from Switzerland. The only elector I couldn't win over is Brandenburg, so I'm attacking them, even without a Casus Belli. This war will be a nuisance. It's funny because all of my opponent's armies are heading for Brandenburg again. There really should be some fortress territory in my country here. Meanwhile, I'm calmly occupying Vienna and the Polish army is taking Berlin. Even though that sounds strange. And that's it for the empire. I'm dismantling it. I don't have anything to spend prestige on, forgive me. I could have at least gotten points. Oh, and I did. I'm ending the whole war with a white piece. I don't want to conquer anything here, maybe the papacy later. Now I'm conquering Switzerland, which will still sting a bit. But it would have been much worse if I hadn't dismantled the Holy Roman Empire beforehand. I'll become an empire, as it doesn't really hinder me in any way, but it does grant me a lot of accepted cultures. After dealing with the Swiss, I'll immediately attack the Ottoman Empire to conquer the last provinces I need, along with some extras. However, I've gained quite a bit of aggressive expansion now, so coalitions are forming and I don't want the Ottoman Empire to join one. As you can see, the coalition is already starting to form. This time, unfortunately, my fleet was sunk. I lost the naval battle. During the second war with the Ottoman Empire, I declared a religious war. I'm taking almost everything I need, plus a few other provinces to release new vassals. If I tried to take everything, I'd rack up over 300 aggressive expansion points, with 100 against each former Holy Roman Empire nation, so I still need to expand cautiously. Meanwhile, I have an interesting opportunity in Spain. I'm releasing Syria as a vassal along with Bulgaria. I think in the next war, I'll be able to push my borders far enough to attack any Islamic nations that might join future coalitions against me. For now, the Catholic coalition is dissolving. I could already form Byzantium, but I want to wait and secure a personal union over France first. Two wars at once, France and Castile. What could possibly go wrong? Yes, I declared war on Castile to claim their throne, while I only need to take Paris from France. Taking Paris will let me complete the mission to claim the entire French throne. I think I just stack-wiped the majority of the French army. Paris is captured. Interesting, taking all of Castile costs me less aggressive expansion than taking Paris. Even combined, the armies of Portugal and Spain don't stand a chance against me. Their army quality is much worse. Only now, after occupying all of Spain, have I lost my claim to the throne. But no worries, since the war is ongoing, Spain will still become my personal union. While waiting for Castile to collapse, I'm simultaneously attacking the Ottoman Empire again. Unfortunately, I won't be able to claim the Alhambra. There's no way I'll get the last 5 points I need. Actually, no, forget it. My entire fleet just sank. There's no way I can do it. But no problem, I'll just lose a war against Aragon or Portugal at some point, give them the Alhambra and then take it back for myself later. So Castile has become my personal union and now I need to improve relations with them. In this next Ottoman war, as you can see, I'm taking quite a lot of territory. I'm also connecting large chunks of land to establish a direct border. I don't want to overreach just yet. I'll take more of Anatolia in the next war, 7 years from now, since I'm only taking 56% war score worth of territory this time. 3 years from now, I'll be able to invade France again, so I'm completing the mission to claim their throne, while working to make France my personal union. Unfortunately, I lost a war against Aragon. I had to give them Granada.
I'll be back.
But unless the union over France goes terribly wrong, I don't think it'll be a big deal. I've pretty much finished Sardinia Piedmont's entire mission tree and it was worth it. There's not much of a reward left now unless something interesting is hidden behind being the Pope, but I haven't had the luck to get there so far. So I'm forming Byzantium up, but should I switch to Byzantine ideas now? Let's see. For reference, here are Montferrat's national ideas. And here are Byzantium's ideas. Honestly, they seem much better overall. However, I might miss the province war score cost reduction. That's incredibly strong for conquest. On the other hand, I can now do a lot with Byzantium's mission tree. Oh no, my capital just moved, this is going to tank my income. But it does look great, especially when you see how much I've already conquered. It's a lot. I'm well on my way to forming the Roman Empire quickly, maybe even within the next 50 years. And if you enjoy watching playthroughs where I start as a small country and rise to power, I recommend this episode where I started as a small English colony and formed the United States into a powerhouse.